Hey everybody, and thanks for watching Woodcrest Bonsai. Today I'm going to work on 6 more Mame Portulacaria jade and put them on the bench, and that will pretty much fill the bench out. There's a little bit more space, but I'll be happy with that. And then I'm going to start on bench number 2. I've decided not to do the videos of building the bench because the bench building videos that I didn't get many views. So I understand this is a bonsai channel. It is not a wood construction channel. So this is number 1. It's a little guy. Here's my finger. So the pot is only about 2.5 inches, maybe 3. And as far as the pot is concerned, either this is the front or this is the front, and obviously this is the back because it's got so much more foliage in the back. And typically the front of a tree, if we go like this, we want the front to be open and the back to be a nice semicircle. That gives it lots of depth. However, as is the case with a lot of these guys, I think it could probably be tweaked right there, because I think that makes a better front. And then bring some of these branches down and create a little bit more space and do some more wiring, and I think it'll be a pretty nice little tree. This tree is so root bound, it's literally grown itself right out of the pot. I don't know if you can see, but the roots right here, I mean, look at it. Boink. It has literally grown itself right out of the pot. So he's due for a root prune too. So as is the case with the last trees, most of these are well rooted and in need of a root pruning, repotting, and some, I wouldn't say major styling, but some styling to get them to look more like a woodcrest bonsai tree. Okay, because we all have a similar style, so if you're looking at my material and say, man, they all look the same, it's because my trees. My signature is the same too. I can do it 100 times, it's still the same signature. And growing bonsai is no different. We all have a vision for what we like. Now this is an interesting tree. This is a slanting style, but you see right here, oh look at that, it's died. And there's no growth here, there's no growth here. So I've considered bringing this guy up like this and chopping it to there and turning it into an informal upright. It would be quite angular, but it's just not thrilling me as a slanting trunk. There's just no growth here or here. We need something down here. But a lot of times when branches, I mean, these are pretty horizontal, but as they begin to swoop down, I'm not sure if I'm ever going to get anything to pop from these guys. And if I do cut it like this, I've still got this little guy right here, so we could take this guy, and he's still an interesting little tree because it's been developing. Look, it's so old that it's even got a little bit of lichen. So chopping all this away, and I will probably leave a little stub because I certainly want a main branch to come out here if I do the informal upright. I still have the potential for a very quickly developing tree out of the cutting. So once again, that's the plan for spring. This is another tree that's got it has a lot of needs. It's in a round pot, so you can choose whatever front you want. Now this might make an interesting front if I wanted to do some kind of almost bunjin kind. And I cut it way back right here and right here, and you can see little tiny pieces of growth coming. So it is responding. So it could have a form like that. Although the more I've been studying this guy, and excuse the wire, I have it wired into the pot. The more I'm studying this guy, the more I'm really thinking of doing a similar thing to what I did to the last tree, is taking all of this off and then bringing this guy up. And we've got our first 2 main branches already. and an apex, and that creates a massive amount of not only taper but also movement. So I'm really thinking of doing that, chopping this guy off. And as is the case with the last one, if I take all this off, I still have the beginnings of another nice tree that I can take a cutting. So it's not like I've wasted this part. I can produce another tree from the part I cut off. And I've wired this into the pot. I don't really like to wire because it can cut into the bark, but this guy was just falling over, falling over, falling over, falling over. I was like, all right, I'll wire you into the pot. Number 4 is an interesting little tree. It's leaning a little forward, also wired into the pot. Which, by the way, this pot is, for its size and its weight, this is the most expensive pot that I own. This little tiny pot was $25. However, handmade with an exquisite glaze and amazing detail, so it was worth every penny. And I apologize that I don't know who the potter was. It does have a chop mark, but I don't know who it is. It does say 013, which I'm thinking 2013. Oh, it is, yeah, 2013. So man, how time flies. 11 years I've owned this pot. The tree itself is, we really kind of need to do this with it. It's more open, more feminine. It has one back branch, but it's in what I disparagingly call the telephone pole style, where it's very flat. And you notice if we go like this, there's just no semicircle in the back to give it that depth. So this back branch needs to be promoted, and I would love to get something up here to create another back branch somewhere in here. And this guy is almost devoid of soil because it kept falling out of the pot too, except the other one that was so root bound. This one needs a lot more soil. But I do love the pot, even though, like I said, by weight it was by far the most expensive pot I've ever purchased. However, if you're at a place, you know, you're at a bonsai convention and you see a vendor that has some really nice pots and you look at the price and you say, oh, I don't know, buy it. Because you'll regret it, because you may never see that vendor again, and the money comes and goes, but you may never be able to get a pot like that again. So I was very happy to purchase that pot. Now this is interesting because it's not exactly the same, but this guy and this guy are in a very, very closely similar pots. This is a little thinner. This is a little deeper, has a lip, but they're very close. And this is another guy that's sort of just sitting there. It's like, okay, what do I do with it? It's a clump style. It's 3 trunks. And, you know, I've always considered this is the front. And I'm really not quite sure what to do with this guy. And that's okay, because bonsai can be very zen. And one huge tenet of zen is if you're confused, wait. So I'm really good at waiting. Oh, some people might call that laziness. But anyway, he has potential. It's another one where I said, okay, I'm just going to take all of this off and just develop a tree from here. Each of these guys will make another very nice little tree very quickly because they've got decent branching and the beginnings of some ramification. And then the last one, we had a tragedy. The top just broke right off. And if you see from how incredibly wilted the leaves are, it's not going to recover. So I brought my scissors out. I guess this is where they come in handy. Well, I guess I didn't need them either. Anyway, it does appear as though this branch is not doing well either. And I'm not quite sure what happened. This tree is another one that has squirrel damage. All this strange hollow bark, and it's actually 2 roots with a little space in between. the squirrels ate a lot of my Portulacarias. I then moved them from the place they were because it gave the squirrels way too much access. The access was just too easy for them to come down and eat it. So, I was really mad at the guys, but then I started looking at some they destroyed. There's no question about that. Some trees they ate and they were just never going to look good again. But some of them gave the trunk a very interesting oddity, which really kind of creates some interest. And this is one of those. So now that the apex has died, we're going to have to bring this guy up as the apex. And, you know, I don't want to say start over, but it will take some time now to get this tree nice and full again. And these things happen. There's just nothing you can do about damage to a tree. It may have maybe a limb fell on it or something like that. I don't really know. But it's still a cool tree, and it has a lot of potential, especially with the funky bark courtesy of the squirrels. So there you go. 6 more Mame Portulacarias. All unique, all distinct, all with some needs to do in the spring: repotting, restyling, cutting back, promoting new branch growth, and whatnot. So that's it for this video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe and hit the notification bell, and you can watch these guys continue to develop. I plan on recording all of the repotting and restyling sessions on all the trees I've done in the recent past, and every tree. I'm trying the best I can to keep you updated fairly regularly on every tree I work on. So subscribe and hit the notification bell, and then you'll see when a tree you may be interested in comes back up on a video. So thank you so much for watching. So like, subscribe, comment if you'd like, and you know, keep that algorithm going. I'm now up to, I think, 363 subscribers, so it's moving along. I'm getting there. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.